Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So recently, well, specifically, after the last Big Thing season ended, there has been a new effective debate running around the community, which is the Big Thing Wars versus Old Style Wars. And I figured it would be interesting to make a poll on my own channel, because again, largely, I'd say on average, I have more followers that are in relatively higher tier alliances compared to the average player base. That is absolutely not meant to be a diss at anybody anywhere. It's just that this channel is largely more geared towards kind of like more committed players, and that is who generally ends up watching the channel more. And therefore, I did think that it would be interesting to see what my viewers think about it. And to all of your credit, we have 2.8k votes on the subject, so that's nearly 3,000 people that have voted. And quite overwhelmingly, Big Thing War is the most popular one by 61% of the player base. And now I did kind of expect it. And this is going to kind of like lead us in a bit of a rabbit hole, which again is probably not going to please everybody with these conclusions that I'm about to draw, but I effectively had 4 options to vote for. So which one do you prefer effectively? Old Style Wars or the Big Things? Big Things is 61%, mixture of both is another 11%, and then Don't Care for Either is another 11%. Regular AW is only 17%. And at the same time, I am quite willing to bet that just about every single one of those 17% is a player that is quite heavily invested in the regular AW and kind of like competitive aspect. And that is where the disparity and the kind of issue with Kabam lies. Because on the surface level, you could obviously say that Big Thing is more popular with a larger amount of player base, therefore obviously Kabam should just do the Big Thing Wars. Well, in reality, I think Kabam themselves realize that it is not quite as simple, because a large percentage of these players are the ones that are kind of like most dedicated, spend quite a lot, and it is a bit of a niche, but it is still kind of like a player identity. You know, we do have alliances that focus on alliance wars as a primary goal. When you take that away, you're only kind of left with the prestige race, really, because for whatever reason, and this maybe could be another topic for debate, Kabam has completely neglected alliance battlegrounds events as well. So alliance is not important for battlegrounds whatsoever, because you get nothing worthwhile you know, from that event for being in an active Battlegrounds Alliance anymore, because again, it's been like God knows how long since Kabam updated BG Alliance rewards. And besides Alliance Reward, again, it would kind of leave only the prestige thing, really. And this version of Alliance Reward obviously kind of like functions and primarily caters to a completely different set of players. So if Kabam were to move away completely from the regular alliance, where I do think it would kind of take away an identity for a fairly significant and engaged subset of players. But I don't personally necessarily think it is the best idea to completely just switch to the Big Thing Wars. But again, from the other hand, it is impossible to deny that the sentiment towards the Big Thing Wars is changing or has changed. And again, in line with my own poll here as well, I'd say that majority of the players do kind of feel that Big Thing actually feels enjoyable. I would very much rather fight just one big fat serpent every 2 days and be done with it than having to fight Serpent, Nico, Britain with smaller HPs at the nastiest nodes every 2 days. And that is going to be the prevailing sentiment for a ton of players up until it isn't. Because the people who are standing up against this very, very, actively. But I also think that obviously such a kind of clear-cut results in effect should be noted. And part of my final conclusions when the Big Thing War appeared the first time around, I said that Kabam should ideally find a way how you can either run both of the things simultaneously and then how players pick and choose type thing. Potentially like regular Alliance Wars has like the biggest reward budget because it is a harder thing for alliances to do, and again that is something that plenty of alliances still want to do. whilst big things, it's much more easier to do, much more available for, you know, generic players, and does require smaller kind of like time investment and effort and roster investment in general as well. Or, you know, alternating between them, do one season like, because Kabam seems to be going in the mindset of alternating things with Alliance Quest. Like previously we had Alliance Quest days in and days out, and now we have raids and 3 weeks of Alliance Quest, and now we have, you know, Alliance Quest Coliseum, Alliance Quest raids. And it could be something that they do with Alliance War as well, like do a season like that, a season like this, or 2 seasons regular Alliance War, 1 season of this. But the point of this video, I guess, is kind of like that community sentiment is changing towards the war for sure, and war has just about always been a bit of a niche game mode, and like if there is a choice in between this alternative, people are definitely enjoying it more on a broader scale, as in more people are enjoying the big thing, Alliance War, and it would only make sense for it to appear in the game in one way, shape, or another more frequently, as it is more favored version about this. In my alliance, actually more or less split about 50-50 here as well. We're going, it's really not split 50-50, that's what I would say. It's like vast majority of the people do want the big things more though, but we're going to see that variance pretty much all over. I mean, again, we do see variance, but majority of the people definitely are leaning towards big things. On a personal note, I still lean more towards regular Alliance War, but I'm not as opposed to the big things, because again, I do think the game's kind of moving in perhaps a bit different direction. And again, big things is a game mode that is much easier to attract new players into and have them actually take part in it, because there aren't that many alliances that play Alliance War like seriously and actively with like planning and let's try to push that mentality. And it's not going to change, because Alliance War by default is not for everybody. It is one of the more, you know, stressful game modes. There is, like, to me at the very least, certain attachment to it, certain lure to it. It is part of what I enjoy. I do enjoy, you know, the idea when losing matters and you do not get infinite redos. At the same time, you know, this is a game and there has to be place for everything and everybody. And there has to be variance, and I think it's, you know, part of Bum's job to kind of like entice as many people as they can. So I would fully understand and support Kabam, you know, again, bringing in the big things more in some way, shape, form, or fashion. Alliance 100% uptake big things AW and 0% to take off. Again, even like in the poll that I made, we can see that vast majority of players are for the big things war. And the reason why I kind of decided to make this video is partially also because some of that sentiment I'm seeing from tier 1, tier 2 officers and alliances as well, which initially it absolutely wasn't. Initially, just about any alliance that was quite heavily invested into Alliance War was like, we want the old Alliance War, we don't want the big things stuff happening. Now that definitely is changing as well. That is helpful. Anyone under tier 5 are not bound to 1-5. I don't think it's just tier 5 though. I do think you should just legitimately still offer, you know, very good rewards for big thing wars. Maybe not as good rewards as the regular version of Alliance War, but you know, make it optional or make it somewhat more frequent. Not entirely sure what would be the perfect answer here, but what I am sure about is that Kabam should not just ignore this change in sentiment and ignore this piece of feedback that they have on forums. And again, even here in a poll that's, you know, largely a place where kind of like more committed players to the game voted, are also drastically and vastly preferring big things over regular AW. And so whilst I do not necessarily share the exact same sentiment, I'm definitely I have caught myself that I have moved much more towards the middle. Like, if previously I would have defended regular Alliance War like very, very passionately, I don't think I'm there at the moment. I'm kind of like, I'm still leaning towards the regular Alliance War, But again, a change of pace every couple of months, or whichever way it kind of goes, I wouldn't be like as distraught and loud about something changing with the Alliance War system. So yeah, definitely my own sentiment has changed towards this. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll catch you guys soon. Bye bye. Hello there, guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information about the